The Daily BS. Like a movie scene, 77-year-old motorist shoots dead. 2 protesters blocking traffic. Yeah, that's what we're doing today. Now, I apologize about not getting this video out in a timely manner. The earliest I'm going to get it out is going to be Friday. Normally, I put out my videos on Thursday. That's because I'm working too much. I had to work on the 4th, which is a Saturday. So, I got to work 6 days a week, a couple times this month, and I have to commute. They're not being lenient about that. The accreditation company for the school I work for wants us to be on campus, which I understand. That's what the students are paying for. So I got to be there. And then I got a lot of students too. They gave me like extra students this term. So I'm just really, really slammed, and I'm dealing with car troubles. My car seized up on the engine, just froze up, started smoking. So all sorts of things happening that are keeping me from getting my videos out in a timely fashion, but hopefully you can see this. At the latest, it's going to be Monday, and it's probably been beat to death by the time. So, but anyway, let's get into this here. The climate crisis is, it's a thing that people are concerned about, and I understand why. Before we get started, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed, and YouTube doesn't subscribe people every single day. You can find me over on Rumble and on Twitter. Now let's dive in here. As climate activists took to another intersection to block traffic in what has become one of several predictable protesting methods, the unthinkable happened when an angered motorist opened fire, killing 2 of the demonstrators. The shocking incident took place in Panama, and images were captured and posted to social media where the debate unfolded about whether this was a not so surprising result of protesters being allowed to physically block traffic with few consequences. Yeah, I mean, the guy's 77. He's probably like, I'm done with this. I've been dealing with it for 77 years. Now things are getting worse. All of the time, they're getting worse. People used to be more patient. We used to be more civil. Of course, we didn't have protests about world-ending events so much. Nuclear war, but that was about it. So let's see here. Oh, we can watch this. So let's take a look. I'll probably cut out if there is the long-distance hole puncher activated, I'll probably cut that out so YouTube doesn't freak out on me. But let's take a look here and see what happens in this video. Well, there you saw the man fall over. He's definitely not moving anymore. He's waving people through. Wow. Yep, now he's being arrested. All right, well, yeah, that's a thing that happened. What do you know? You knew that something was going to happen, and the problem is, like, I watched Tim Pool, I admit it. And Tim Pool's like, you need to have civil disobedience. You need to have nonviolent civil disobedience. This is a good thing that these people are blocking traffic. It's annoying, but it's a good thing because they're protesting, and we need to have nonviolent protests. What if an ambulance needs to get through in a life and death situation? I mean, really, these people are blocking these roads. I was watching a video of this happening in London, and an ambulance could not get through. So what do? We have to stop blocking the roads. I understand that you're not getting what you want out of the reduction of the burning of fossil fuels. I can solve this problem for you immediately. There's only one solution that I can see. Maybe you out there, dear listener, have a different solution. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's get back into this article here. Several reports offered information about the gunman, who was identified as a 77-year-old American lawyer, and the moments leading up to his confrontation with the activists who were reportedly protesting a mining contract. Oh. So they're protesting jobs coming to their country? I don't understand. What do I know, though? Disturbing footage showed a man with gray hair and glasses casually approaching the blockade on the Pan-American Highway and waving his finger while arguing with the demonstrators, before pulling out a gun and opening fire. Other footage showed people standing around bodies in the road and the Shame sector west of Panama City, as well as the gunman being cuffed and led to a squad car. The paper continued. Police later shared a photo of the suspect handcuffed to a pipe as he was identified as Kenneth Darlington, 77, a lawyer and professor who holds dual citizenship in the U.S. and Panama, according to Newsroom Panama. Oh, we have another video here. Let's go ahead and maybe this one has sound. Let's hope this one has sound. Okay, I had to cut out that last part there because he did pull the trigger, and the gentleman in the black shirt on the left fell down. So cut that out so YouTube doesn't freak out. One of the demonstrators reportedly died at the scene and another at the hospital where he was rushed. Complete information was not fully available. Several reports identified the shooter as Kenneth Darlington, though the Santa Monica Observer, which called him a local, had a slight difference in his name, reporting the gunman was named in local media as Kenneth Franklin Darlington Salas. If he is convicted, Mr. Salas could be sentenced to house arrest rather than being sent to jail because of his age. Okay. Well, that's the thing. He's so old, he probably just, he's figured, I'm done. Maybe he just lost his wife. Who knows what's going on with him. But you knew this was going to happen. You knew that the people were going to get fed up with the protesters blocking roads and stuff. Initially, Mr. Salas removed tires, which were obstructing the road. The protesters, according to witnesses, shouted at the man, "Are you going to kill someone?" The gunman replied, "You want to be the first?" Okay. He opened fire, first shooting a protester holding a flag, and then a second man who went to confront him before walking off and removing tree trunks that had been blocking the road. He was then arrested. Local media identified the victim as Mr. Diaz, I guess, the teacher and union activist, and Ivan Mendoza. Let's see what we got here for this video. All right, if you speak Spanish, you probably understand what they were saying there. I don't speak Spanish. Barely speak English. This is a fact that has no place in a society called to be supportive like ours. Read a translation of a post on social media by a Panama president. The violence came during the third week of protests over a large mining contract that allows Canada-based First Quantum Minerals to operate the region's largest pit copper mine for at least 20 more years. According to the New York Post, the roadblocks have caused up to $80 million in daily losses to businesses and have shuttered schools nationwide for more than a week. So this is not a new thing. This is the third week. Yeah, that would be enough to aggravate anybody. He's been like, dude, I've been aggravated for 77 years. I'm done with you. Get the hell out of the way. Reactions poured in on social media where the response ranged from the serious to the mocking. This is why getting your butt whooped can be a positive. It teaches you a valuable lesson. You F around long enough and eventually you're going to F around with the wrong one. Larry Correa says, actually kind of surprised it took this long. Yeah. I think there's some people who've been run over, right? I think that's happened. I'm surprised it hasn't. I mean, maybe it has, but I haven't seen any reports of it being tried in L.A., blocking other roads like that. And it's funny. My wife is from a foreign country. And when, like, the George Floyd riots were going on, like, people were standing in the streets in L.A. and protesting with a bullhorn. We were watching it on the news, and she's like, you shoot that person. And it was like, no, he's allowed to stand in the street and protest. It's not illegal. Well, blocking traffic, depending. I mean, maybe, but. Oh, Dana Loesch says, pretty Falling Down-esque. Yeah, if you haven't seen Falling Down, whoa, check out Falling Down. It's a really good movie about a man just being driven to the limit. Much better than that, the Joker film that came out, that thing. What a joke that was. But Falling Down was done a long time ago, made a long time ago, and it makes a lot of sense. It's actually a really fun movie, too. And I mean, it's dark, but it's entertaining. The thing with it is I never really understood why a person would do that until I moved to L.A., and I'm like, yep, now I get it. This is freaking ridiculous, dude. Dealing with L.A., drive anybody to go on a shooting spree. Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Okay, well, that's interesting. Yeah, this guy says new meme format just dropped. Yeah, you know, it's going to be memed all over the place, this guy. Given how common road rage incidents are, it is an especially dangerous game to stand in the highway and cause a traffic jam on purpose. You have no idea who might be in one of those cars, how on edge they might be, how fed up, etc. This is why it's generally ill-advised to... This is Matt Walsh saying this. Let's see what he says here on Twitter. Ill-advised to intentionally infuriate hundreds of already stressed out people all at once. Yeah. History always proves you can only push people around for so long before they start fighting back. I am sure this man had nothing to lose, and his mind eventually broke. Yeah. You push the guy around for 77 years. He's been getting pushed around for 77 years. And, maybe he doesn't have any kids. I don't know. I don't know this guy's life. Maybe he doesn't have any family anymore, or anybody that he's close to. So he's like, I'm done. I don't care. It would be best if police would arrest people blocking the roads. It's very strange how police just won't arrest leftist protesters. Yeah, of course they won't. Damn, did he have Martin Scorsese direct it? This action shot with the shell casing still flipping in the air is awesome. Taking the law into one's own hands is not an acceptable way to address environmental concerns. Resolving such issues should be done through legal and peaceful means that respect human life and safety. Okay, so how do you solve these climate issues? There's only one way that I know of, and that is reduce the population. That's the only thing I can think of. Because this burning fossil fuels, production of all of these chemicals and synthetic substances, if it's reduced a lot, the problem goes away. I had an office mate, good guy. He said that it's planned obsolescence is the problem. And there is planned obsolescence and all this stuff here. You know, my mother, I don't know if she still has them, but when I was growing up, she had fans that were 50 years old, 60 years old probably. I'm not joking. All these fans that were just old metal steel fans. Now I bought a fan. I had it for 10 years and it stopped working. It's like, okay, and that probably lasted a long time. I don't know. I mean, everything breaks down and wears out, just falls apart. It seems like. So that probably contributes to this catastrophe that we're facing, but I don't think it is that big of a deal. That might be as much as 10% of the problem. Problem is really there's just too many people. Too many people that are burning fossil fuels, that are driving cars, that are buying computers, buying all this stuff. And that's just really I don't know what else to say about it. I've looked at so much evidence on this subject matter. So much. And yes, there might be some of you out there thinking, they are saying it was going to be a ice age in the 70s. Yeah. Well, first off, those weren't scientific publications. And second off, the majority of scientists agreed in the 70s that we were headed for heating, not cooling. Some even today say, hey, we're headed for an ice age. That there's a theory that it'll be like the day after tomorrow. It'll flip. And then it'll be massive cooling instead. It'll be an ice age because of, the way that the jet streams, the Gulf streams, whatever, all that stuff works. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist, not a weather scientist at all. It's the only thing that we can do. Because even if it's not fossil fuels, it's like burning wood. If everybody across the entire world has to burn wood to cook their food every day, you end up with the same problem. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know what to do about overpopulation. And I don't know how bad it's going to get. I've seen reports that say different things, but the ones I think that are more accurate, it's not going to really be a big issue in my lifetime. But if we keep going, eventually it will be. So I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Don't hurt people, Mr. American lawyer who lives in Panama. Don't go hurting people, but at the same time, people have tempers and they can only last so long. So anyway, with all that being said, here's your palate cleanser.